I see this one asked a lot here. Will you guys ever have an event where people can play live versus PvE content? We've talked about doing this a lot, actually. Not necessarily controlling versus PvE, but just having multiple people controlling their own character in battle. It's just more of a complication issue of, like, let's say you have 5 people on your team. They all have to take their turns, so you're waiting for constant turns. What happens when someone disconnects? Can they reconnect? There's just a lot of technical questions as to, like, what happens in this scenario or that scenario, who's controlling the character when you're walking around in a dungeon, things like that. So it's possible we might do something cool like that in the future, but there's just a lot of technical concerns with it.
All right, for the next giveaway, I gotta think of a keyword real quick. Let's do
gem.
No, let's do cookies, because the next giveaway item is for milk and cookies. Which, if you haven't been around, milk and cookies was an item we gave away around Christmas time, and it gives you a % bonus to capture chance. It's a very exclusive item that has only been in the game once so far. I'll go ahead and set my timer for about 5 minutes. If we go over, well, that's okay.
I think if we're out of questions, we can kind of open it up to the chat and read some questions in chat, right?
Yeah, we have a few more questions, though.
Okay, we'll finish our questions first and then get to the chat.
While that's going on, let's see. We've got... Do you plan to deal with the level differences between players anymore? Like, basically opening up the chance for lower level people to get different or better prizes instead of only the top level people getting all the good prizes.
I guess it depends on what you consider good, but ideally there needs to be some chase for people. Like, if you are top 10, you should be rewarded for being top 10. And if the rewards for everyone are pretty good, then there's no reason to even try to compete to be top 10 except for maybe some small bonuses. So I think we can always expand upon it, but at the end of the day, the people at the top of the leaderboards should be rewarded for being at the top of the leaderboards.
All right. Do we have a plan to introduce a buff system into Bit Heroes?
We talked about this. It's kind of complicated because of just the way the combat works in our game. Originally, we never wanted to do that because we didn't want to overcomplicate the game. But at this point, the game has already gotten so complicated that we've kind of already crossed that road. So, yeah, we actually want to. We wanted to implement it with some new meta runes and some other cool things. So, I think we probably will end up doing some sort of buff system with some cool mechanics involved. Just what is it? I'm not really sure yet.
Yeah, we keep running into the problem where I think we all kind of want to add it, but it's just such a complicated thing to add. It'll be interesting if it ends up in game, that's for sure. Are there any plans to add features? Well, I guess we kind of already just answered this in the Twitch chat, so I'm just gonna skip that. It's basically the question about real players and not AI, but yeah, as we said, it's a very complicated system to do that. Can we get a character rename option in game?
We've been wanting to do that for a while, actually. We just never, we haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, we want people to be able to change their names just like they can customize their visuals. It's just when is the question.
It's another one of those features that keeps, it's like such, it's not a high priority item, so it just keeps getting pushed down the list. Every time I'm like, can we do this now? And I just keep getting, oh, we've got all these other things that we need to do, and it just doesn't end up in game. I think we've kind of covered this one with some of the stuff, but are there plans for more free-to-play content in the game?
Yeah. I think some of the cool stuff we want to bring, I don't want to spoil it. Plans to be completely free to play. There's no real benefit to spending on it. So I guess the easy answer is yes. Like, we don't ever design stuff in mind of how can we make money off of this. We just kind of we kind of go, is this fun? How would it be fun? Let's do it, and we go from there. So I don't think we ever really design anything with the mindset of it being pay to win. It's just a matter of, will people like this and will it be fun for them?
Which, by the way, is not something our partners are ever super thrilled to hear us say. So, there's that.
Yeah, but they're
it's still our game.
Still understandable, and they want the game to be fun too, so it's not totally like that.
Okay, real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and close the giveaway. So you have about 10-15 seconds to enter in cookies if you haven't already.
I think I saw someone asking for familiar cosmetics. I think that'd be awesome. I don't know how we would do it, but that would be pretty cool. I'm gonna have to think on that one.
All right, Shady Nasty 414. You officially won the cookies. All right. There's only a couple more questions left. After that, we'll take a few questions from the chat, and then we'll probably get around to closing the stream after that. So, we have... Is there anything that you wanted to have in the game but have not been able to include for whatever reason, whether it was time, technical issues, etc.?
Well, I think that having a lot. I've seen a couple questions in the chat about the town not being animated and that kind of stuff. I'd love to see the game be more vibrant and see the grass move and the water and stuff. But there's just a lot of technical limitations with having so many people in town, and so we can't really do that. So that's kind of why that's like that. So I think that's kind of a technical limitation that kind of bums us out. What about you, Mo?
Yeah, I mean, we actually did end up working on it at one point, but yeah, getting it in the game could cause a lot of lag issues, so it's questionable. Oh boy. What would I like to see in the game? Since the day one, I don't really know. I always wanted enchants, which finally made it in, so that's cool. I know something Sean wants, but I don't know if we want to talk about it.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that we've wanted in since day one. I guess one of the things that would be really cool is some sort of real-time combat with other players. Like, I think someone was mentioning earlier. Like, I mentioned that there's technical limitations and concerns with it, but it would still be really awesome to pull off. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Enchantments kind of came from just basically wanted to add some sort of way for people to randomly generate items in the game. So this was our one way of doing it. We wish we could have done it with the gear, like making it so that your sword always has a different pair of stats or something like that, but it's just not the way the tech was built. So enchants was our way to do that.
Fox, you ask, what about the drops of legendary or of gear that you already own? Just so you know, the game is pure RNG. We don't tinker with it, so we're not going to go in there and say, hey, he owns this. We're not going to. It's just pure RNG, and that's why you might get the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and it can suck, obviously, to get the same thing twice, but we don't want to break that rule of manipulating RNG. The way we view it is the moment you break that rule, the moment you start manipulating RNG, it spirals out of control, and then people will want you to just do with everything, and to the point where it doesn't feel like RNG anymore. It feels like it's a manipulated system that isn't truly. I mean, it's not like someone mentioned earlier. RNG is never truly RNG, but we wanted to be as close to true RNG as possible.